makes me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab.
Oh, you know we need them. We all need strategies sometimes. Strategies for living. So are you ready? Are you ready for your daily dose of radio rehab? Welcome into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillan, and she is psychotherapist, PLPC Lauren Leon McMillan.
Did you forget who I was for a moment?
No. I didn't forget it. I was just introspecting.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of started talking about yesterday, Lauren, going within.
Winter,
Yeah,
yes.
and it got me thinking. Introspection. Why is introspection so important? Well, it boosts our self-awareness.
Yep.
It helps us with emotional regulation.
Mhm.
It helps us with resilience, and of course, then personal growth. And effective self-reflection uses mindfulness to identify our feelings and align our actions and values together and manage discomfort. And, there are questions we can bring forth, questions that help us to explore our values, our experiences, and our patterns. And all of those are going to foster a self-discovery and therefore growth in our lives. So I thought, this would be something that we could build on this evening and explore, kind of expand on what we were talking about last evening.
To continue to root down deep into ourselves.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Yeah, how do we do
Practically.
that? And what are some practical ways that we can do introspection, if we will? Because as you so eloquently pointed out last evening, it is time.
It is.
Yeah, it's time for that.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living. Thank you for being here with us. And we appreciate our sponsors making it all possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintail Roofing
Roof.
and Learning RX and the Balanced Life Wellness Center and Fertitas Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, Alligator, Italian Sausage. Why is introspection so important, and what are some questions to help us get at the introspection? That's today here on Strategies. Stay with us.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem drab. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
And welcome into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking about going inside, introspection. Lauren, introspection let's start with what it's not.
Okay.
It is not some weird form of self-absorbed navel gazing. Not
Okay.
not at all.
No.
Introspection is a type of self-reflection that is really the foundation of self-awareness.
It's a foundation of expanded consciousness.
Absolutely.
The word introspection, kind of tells you what it is. It's intro, which means inward.
Right?
Spection means looking or observing.
Right?
So it's your ability to look or observe inward. What's going on within you, whether that's your thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs,
Yep.
your bodily sensations, all of that, whatever's going on inside, your ability to observe that is introspection.
And it is a vital aspect of inner work. If you want to do inner work, and I'm trying to sell something here unabashedly, I'm not shy about it. Our world would be a different place,
Right.
if we all did more of our inner work.
Well, because world peace starts with inner peace.
Yeah.
And you don't get to inner peace except by examining your inner peace, P-I-E-C-E.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your piece of the peace?
Right.
And so, you can do inner work in a lot of ways. Of course, psychotherapy and coaching and counseling and meditation. There's a lot of
Journaling.
ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that you can do introspection. But we want to talk about some questions this evening, self-reflection questions and skills, because those are the foundation of inner growth and changing behavior and really psychological healing,
Right.
if that's needed. And I'm a little biased. I think we all need
Absolutely.
psychological healing.
If we're here and experiencing the chaotic psyche that is the collective right now,
Oh, Lord,
we're
Lord.
all in need of a little healing because we're not whole yet.
Yeah.
I don't think the entirety of us see us as whole, and that's what we're moving towards.
So
always.
if we buy into the idea that introspection is important, then what are the questions? Which self-reflection questions do I need to be asking myself, and how do I deal with discomfort when it arises? Because if I'm doing the work,
Right.
there's going to be a bit of discomfort along the way. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. And also explore whether, is looking within ever dysfunctional,
Sure.
Yeah.
I think
And
anything can be taken out of balance.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. So let's start with why is it so important? What are some reasons that introspection is so important? Number one, I'm going to throw out it involves, of course, the the examination, if you will, of our feelings, thoughts, and behaviors, and it helps us to develop the self-awareness that's required to really be the support of our personal growth and well-being. And I think I could go out and say there are some science-based reasons that introspection is important. We can support this by research.
Yes, we can. Now.
So number one is self-awareness. I mean, you kind of alluded to this earlier, but introspection increases self-awareness, and self-awareness is necessary to identify what are our values, what are our strengths, and what are our challenges.
Right. And our underlying motivations.
Yeah.
Right. And where is that coming from?
Yeah. And so we've got to recognize these, our values, our strengths, and our challenges, to promote growth and make informed decisions. Secondly, emotional regulation.
That's a big one.
So, reflecting on our emotions and recognizing what are my triggers,
Right.
recognizing those triggers helps is going to help me manage my responses to stressors and challenging situations. We
For
we all get into them. We
right.
all have them,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to take responsibility for my own emotions, energy in motion,
Right.
and we've talked about this before on strategies. Emotion is the combination of a feeling and a thought together,
Mm-hmm.
and how I express feelings and thoughts. They're, in other words, emotions. It's really the hallmark of a mature adult.
Yeah. The ability to first recognize what and kind of label in whatever way you want to label the emotion that you're experiencing is the first part, because if you don't even recognize, I mean, there are
You
people out
can't
there.
change what you don't
There are
know.
people out there who are afraid and cover that up with other
Right.
feelings, other
Right.
emotions. And so they're so buried within themselves that they don't even realize that one of the biggest emotions that they're experiencing is actually fear buried under anger or sadness.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Improving our relationships. That's another thing that introspection is important in.
First and foremost with ourselves.
Yeah, introspection is an important self-exploration skill for us to be able to understand relationship patterns, patterns with ourselves and patterns with others. And you can't set boundaries, or you can't resolve misunderstanding or even build healthier connections if you don't understand the relationship that you have with yourself.
Right.
If you don't understand the relationship you have with yourself, you're going to have a hard time understanding the relationship that you have with anybody else, because your relationship with you is the sponsor.
Yeah, big time. And that one kind of also merges with the previous emotional regulation piece. Well, and even the self-awareness piece, right? Because what you're not aware of on about what is going on cognitively, but also emotionally, what you're not aware of and taking responsibility for, that is recognizing your ability to respond, you will likely project out onto others in relationship with you, which become
big time.
which become a huge barrier to any sort of deep, intimate relationship that you may want to.
Can you say projection?
Yeah.
And so much of our world, if we step back and we really do what we're talking about this evening, true introspection, we will realize, I don't know what the percentage is, but a pretty significant percentage of what I'm spewing is a projection. And it's really coming, I'm projecting it onto you, but if I really examine and I really look at it,
Yeah.
it's really coming from me.
Yeah, and then you're able to walk through the world and recognize that, oh, I'm always looking through the filter that is me.
Yeah.
And with that, you're never going to be able to completely clear the slate.
No, but it's a
you're
work in progress.
Yeah, but you're at least aware of, well, this is the way that I'm thinking, and the lens and the mesh filter, if you will, that I'm seeing and experiencing the rest of the world through.
Right.
And so it's not necessarily how others are experiencing the world.
And then there's an increased resilience. When we understand our responses, our very unique responses to life's events, that's going to help us to recognize problems and identify solutions at earlier stages, right? And so this is going to build our coping skills, and therefore it's going to enhance resilience.
Help us to bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then introspection supports us aligning our actions with whatever our core values and our long-term goals are. And this is especially important for stress management and for overcoming life challenges that might lead us into reactive behaviors that are really going to undermine and undercut our values, right?
Right. And as I'm hearing us, I'm thinking, okay, where does it go out of balance? And the biggest place that I think introspection goes out of balance is the way in which you are responding to your own introspection.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is some of us can become hyper aware. We can be very self-aware, but feel stuck and trapped and not be able to go anywhere. And that's where the introspection can go out of balance, is when you are not engaging in these practices in a compassionate way.
Yeah.
We can start becoming overly critical when we become hyper aware of, sure, this triggers me. And the way that you respond to that makes all the difference in the world.
And then, of course, introspection is an important part of self-discovery that helps us to figure out where we're stagnated and helps us to move forward. And so when we come back here on strategies, let's do some strategies. Let's talk about how to self-reflect, the strategies for it. Can we do that?
Sounds good.
Talking about introspection this evening here on Strategies for Living. Come back and introspect more with us. Be right back. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely. Great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, Learning RX Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call Learning RX Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does Learning RX Shreveport.
Facing the same old problems day to day makes you wanna holler, get away. Looking for the road that'll get me there. Looking for hope and peace to spare. Looking for strategies for living radio.
Where are they? I'm looking for them.
Strategies for
I'm
living
looking.
radio.
They're around here somewhere.
Yeah,
I heard there were some people giving them out.
Well, yeah, let's hope so. I think that may be you and me sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we're taking notes and listening to ourselves too. It's not like it's not like we got all the answers here.
Life is
It's
a great
like,
conversation with yourself, anyway.
If you want to learn something, if you really want to learn something, well, they say you teach it, and so maybe that's what we're involved in doing here. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking about self-reflection and introspection this evening. So let's talk about some strategies. How do we self-reflect? What are the strategies to do that? I mean, we want to explore our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
We want to identify what are some needs that are not being met in my life, right? Unmet personal needs. And I want to align my actions with my values. And so we want to integrate mindfulness and values-based reflection, and that's going to help us to nurture self-awareness and nurture our own personal growth. So find you a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. Um, I, I think both of us would encourage you to bring a notebook or some type of recording device
Mhm.
for your reflections. And a good place to begin is to scan your body. Now, don't do this if you're driving. If you're at home, you can go ahead and do this. If you're in a car driving, don't do this right now, because first thing I'm going to ask you to do is close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And so tune into what you're feeling now.
You could
Start with the now.
If you're driving, you could still scan your body without closing your
Yeah,
eyes.
and please don't close your eyes, especially on I-20 or I-49.
Mm.
But when you take a few deep breaths and you scan, you do a mindful body scan, where do you notice the feelings in your body?
Mm.
And note those.
Yep.
Make note of those observations, and then
And feelings are just physical sensations, right?
that's it.
So,
That's it.
maybe at the moment you feel a tightness in your chest or some fluttering in your stomach,
Right.
or
Or a pain in the neck. The places that we usually had, that we talk about. Those are the neck, the stomach,
Mhm.
the chest.
Mhm.
Those
back.
areas, the back,
shoulders.
they lead us to the vulnerabilities in our lives, and they give us a key
Yeah.
if we'll tune into them.
All physical sensation feelings are messages, potential messages for us.
Yep.
And so it's almost like a little notification on your phone, right? And so if you feel that tightness in your jaw, to simply, tap on the notification. Don't swipe it away.
Yep.
Tap on it and say, well, what is this telling me?
Yep.
What do I need?
All right. So once you've got the feelings, once you identify what you're feeling right now and where it is in your body, see if you can get at the source. So identify, what are the events, the thoughts, or the situations that might be contributing to these feelings, and are these feelings aligned with your values and are with external pressures, right?
You'd be surprised at how literal our body pains often translate.
Yeah.
Like if you truly do have a neck pain, it might be worth asking the question,
Who's a pain in my neck?
Who's a pain in your neck?
Yeah.
Who are you allowing to be a pain in your neck
Yeah.
recently?
If you've got knee issues,
Yeah.
where am I feeling that I can't handle something, that I'm weak?
Yeah.
Weak in the knees, right?
Right. Or I'm not flexible.
Yeah.
If you're feeling pressure in your face, sinus pressure,
Yep.
right? Are you putting a lot of pressure on yourself?
If you're dealing with stomach issues, what in my life am I not stomaching well?
What am I
right
having
now?
trouble digesting?
What am I having trouble digesting? Yeah. So you get the idea.
Yeah.
So be playful with this.
Mhm.
You don't have to have all the answers. Nobody does. None of us do.
No.
But if we're willing to tune in to the feelings and the thoughts, they are real clues.
They're great signals.
Yeah.
They're great messages if we will tune in and listen to what they have to say. And
So-
this may take some time because so many of us have been so disconnected from the body
Absolutely.
through societal programming.
Okay, but now once we reconnect with those feelings, now we need to explore the needs. What do you need right now? What do you need most right now?
Right.
Is it rest? Is it connection? Is it more adventure in your life? Is it more achievement? And are there needs that are not being met right now? Or are there boundaries that you need to address right now
Right.
that you're just allowing someone or someones
Mhm.
to cross over?
Yeah, and to
Yeah.
encroach on your own well-being.
Right.
That quote unquote pain in the neck may need that boundary setting.
Yeah.
Right.
And then consider action. What do you want to do? Consider acting. can you take is there even a small step that you can take to address your needs
Mm.
or align more closely with your values now or tomorrow?
Mm.
You know, for example, as an example, if you feel stressed, maybe commit to some short term relaxation activity,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
If you feel disconnected from somebody important to you in your life,
Mhm.
reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out to someone who is important to you. And then after you've done the action, now kind of review your experience. How do you feel now
Mm.
compared to when you started?
Right.
And what did you learn about yourself? You
Mm.
know?
This is so important because we individually are our greatest, lifelong research projects
Yeah,
is to really truly understand this body that we're in and how we can best care and keep it.
absolutely.
And this is the process, right? By trying to decode, okay, well, when my neck hurts, that's often means that I've been putting my neck out too
Yeah.
much
Yep.
recently. And so I need to draw back and to have some common practice that you return to for yourself that's very individual. It could be, for some people, that could be yoga. For some people, it could be meditation. It could be exercise. Whatever it is that fills that need for you, it's important that you kind of catalog for yourself.
All right, now let's talk about something that's important, kind of the elephant in the room, if you will. Some people are going to say, well, are you guys saying that, I've got this fill in the blank, whatever pain you're dealing with in your body?
Mhm.
Are you guys saying that I'm the cause of my own pain, that I'm doing
Mm.
this to me?
Mm.
Well, no, we're not necessarily saying that. We're asking that we ask questions.
Mm.
We're at least, raising the possibility that our feelings are so much more. And you've said, and I think you're absolutely correct. We're a society that is disconnected from our feelings, and that's gone on for a long time.
Right. It's gone over centuries that we have learned to outsource
Right.
our bodies,
So
our own bodies, and nobody else is in it but us.
this is not a thing about blaming the self.
No,
This
not at
is
all.
not that. This is a thing.
This is the complete opposite.
It's
This is about
reconnecting.
returning to
Yep.
self.
Right.
Returning to, because in doing this practice, that's why I mentioned that this may be kind of awkward, or you might not get at the actual underlying message the first time. And it takes patience because you have to relearn to connect with the body again.
Absolutely.
And to teach the body that you are going to care for it.
So here's the deal. There's going to be some discomfort in
Mhm.
all likelihood when you reflect because, you know, uh, and I
What you're
think,
recognizing kind of touches on that question you asked. Are
yeah,
you causing the
yeah.
sickness? Because if you can heal it, that does beg to ask the question, where did it come from in the first place?
And we are an extroverted society. Our whole society is aimed to be and taught to be extroverted.
Mm-hmm.
And for extroverts, looking inward can be problematic. It's not a natural
Right.
tendency, and it can be challenging. It can be uncomfortable. Um, so, but what we got to understand is when we recognize the often chaotic nature of thoughts, and we understand, okay, well, that chaotic nature of our thinking is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an important discovery during mindfulness practice.
And I think the biggest discovery on top of that is to recognize that you are not
Your
the
thoughts. Yep.
You are not the thoughts. They are
Yep.
chaotic and they are often constantly happening, but you are not them, and they do not define who you are.
Absolutely
You
not.
get to watch them.
So when reflecting, if you begin to feel stress, just remember you can take a step back
Mm-hmm.
and you can diffuse from your thoughts rather than identify with
Right.
your thoughts.
Right. Nurture non-identification.
Yep. So it's normal to feel uncomfortable when you're doing introspection, but there are skills that we can learn to
Mm.
manage and even dissolve, if you will, that discomfort.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, by recognizing you're the being, you're the entity through which it flows.
Absolutely.
You are not the stick in the flow of water
Yep.
through you.
Absolutely. We are introspecting this evening, self-examination, looking within, giving some strategies for all of us to maybe practice and do that more.
We're becoming inner space explorers.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. What are some questions? When we come back, let's talk about some self-reflection questions that we can ask ourselves. Talk about strategies, right? These are some real strategies. Might be challenging, but you can do it. We'll be back with strategies, more strategies for living in just a moment.
From the bayou to your table, we're keeping it alive with flavors from the family, passed down to survive. The Godfather's here with a twist in the tail, alligator Italian sausage, and it sure won't fail. It's the boss of the bayou, a taste you can't refuse. Italian tradition, Cajun infused. Godfather sausage, bold and true. The Padres bringing the bayou to you.
Get the Godfather alligator Italian sausage only at Fertitta's Delicatessen, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Pick up a muffy while you're there. The Godfather alligator Italian sausage. It's a taste you can't refuse. Sold only at Fertitta's, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport.
Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's, thebalancedlife.us.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies, strategies, strategies for living radio.
We need them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got them too.
All right.
Yeah. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Yeah, that's where the strategies are. Strategies for living. Spread the word. Here we are, Monday through Friday on 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're on 6 days a week.
That's right.
And if you miss a program, or maybe you're listening to a program and you say, my friend Joe needs to hear. Man, does Joe need to hear, or does Sally need to hear what Lauren talked about today, or what David and Lauren talked about yesterday? Okay, well, we got a solution for you there, too.
Yes, we
right?
do.
And that would be...
We're on Facebook, Strategies for Living with David McMillan on Facebook, or Strategies for Living on YouTube.
All right, there you go. And there's a ton of programs there.
Working towards podcast.
Working towards, yeah, but that's going to be a goal for this year.
It is. It's in the
Podcasting.
works.
Yep. It's you can listen to the Facebook and the YouTube in your car, but
Right.
with their commercials and stuff, it's a little bit harder. So doing the actual podcasting thing will make it easier.
That's the hope.
All right, so we're talking about some introspecting this evening
We
here
are
on Strategies for Living.
becoming inner space explorers.
Yeah, I love it.
Suit up.
I love it. Um, so what are some questions we can ask ourselves? Maybe we explore these in a journal or during meditation, or also we could do this in a deep conversation with a coach or a counselor
Mhm.
or a mentor, because self-reflection can help us to live a more meaningful life, a more intentional life. And I've noticed that the end of last year, beginning of this year, you've been using that word intentional a
Yeah,
lot.
sure
Yeah,
have.
yeah, you have.
And
So
have I been intentional in that?
I think you've been intentional to do that. So there are some questions that you can use. Let's start with some self-discovery questions. What are my guiding principles or values in my life?
Mm,
What makes life meaningful for me?
right.
What do I stand for, even when it's not popular, even when it's uncomfortable? And how do my actions reflect what I stand for?
Right. Or how are they in contrast?
Yep.
Because more often than not, that's some of our biggest inner conflict comes from our actions and our values being out of alignment with each other,
Yep.
being misaligned.
Yep. And then, are there any beliefs that I've outgrown, but I
Mm.
still hold on to just because of habit or fear?
I'm gonna say yes for all of us.
Yeah,
I
probably
don't.
so.
If you're answering no, look deeper because there's got to be some.
I think that there's some questions that we could ask ourselves every day
Yes.
that will help us along the way, almost like a compass, if you will.
Mhm.
It's kind of a daily self reflection, and that can deepen our self awareness, and it can highlight where we need to grow and encourage a more intentional approach to living. Here are some questions. What went well today?
Mm.
And what am I grateful for?
Yeah.
Were there any challenges today? And how did I handle them?
Mm.
What emotions did I experience most strongly today? And why was that? And did my actions align with my values and goals today?
Mm.
And last but not least, is there anything I would do differently tomorrow to grow
Mm.
or to improve? Those are questions we could use every day.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I think it would be great. Those are great end of the day or even beginning of the day startup questions. But
Yeah.
something I think we could all do just at random small intervals throughout the day is to ask yourselves either what am I thinking,
Mm.
right? Just check in with your thoughts,
Yeah.
or what am I feeling? Do a quick 5-second body scan and come into your body again.
Yeah.
And we do that by engaging the senses.
Yeah.
Right? By looking around. Can you feel the waistband on your pants?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
And can you feel where your body touches whatever support object you're on? Whether that's, if you're standing, that may just be the floor. Can you feel your feet on the floor?
Yeah.
Or if you're sitting, can you feel every place where your body touches the chair or the couch or the piece of furniture that
Tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just being able to come into the body and doing that at little intervals throughout the day is another way to start coming back into contact with the body and reminding yourself that, hey, I'm in this body and I'm going to take care of it. Because when you check in on somebody that says, hey, I care about you, how are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah.
You do that for yourself. Check
Absolutely.
in. How am I feeling? What am I thinking?
Absolutely. Now let's get deep. Let's go deeper.
All right.
So there's some questions that can take you deeper. And again, self-reflection, self-exploration are using these with a counselor or with a coach, with a therapist to facilitate insight and growth that can be helpful. So, number one, are there any patterns in my life that keep repeating? And if so, what is triggering that?
Mm.
Number 2, how do I usually respond to pressure and stress? And what does this reveal about my coping mechanisms?
Mhm.
And then number 3, what are my core fears? And how do they impact and influence my choices
Mm.
in life? Number 4, who am I when I'm not fulfilling my roles in my family or in my work or in my community?
Who are you beyond the roles
Who am I beyond the roles that,
other people give you?
right? And then number 5, is there anything I need to forgive?
Mm.
Either in myself or in others, to release resentment, release guilt, or release shame.
Mm.
And, I want to get rid of all of that.
Right.
I especially want to get rid of shame.
We want to walk as lightly on this earth as we can.
Yeah.
In all senses of the word, right? Lightly in terms of the weight of, releasing the baggage of guilt, shame, and resentment and fear.
Yeah.
But also light in the sense of being able to foster and kindle your own light and shine that for yourselves and others in the world to see and to be with. And that's what we're talking about, getting to know who you are and what you have inside so that you can release those gifts for yourself and
Absolutely.
for others.
And release the gifts for yourself
Mhm.
and we're all called to bring our gifts into the world.
Right.
And so we want to release them into the world too.
Mhm.
What would this world be like if more of us were more self-reflective more often? Talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. We got just a little bit more. Come back with us.
It's a never-ending journey.
Yeah, the journey continues here on Strategies. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
Facing the same old problems day to day makes you wanna holler, get away. Looking for the road that'll get me there. Looking for hope and peace to spare. Looking for strategies for living radio.
And welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio here on 101.7 FM. 710 Keel. Can we got to wrap up here, but can self-reflection like we're talking about today here on Strategies for Living, can it ever be dysfunctional?
Yeah, that's kind of what I mentioned, I think, at the beginning of the program, is when introspection is not paired with compassion.
Okay.
Self-compassion is the key ingredient that we must cultivate in context, in relationship with introspection.
Keep compassion for all beings,
Especially
for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, by just recognizing it with openness and curiosity.
Yep.
As you find things about yourself, asking, "Oh, I wonder why I do it that way,"
And reminding myself that I'm a work in progress, just like
Absolutely.
everybody else on the planet.
Mhm.
And
And
again,
I developed these habits out of protection for myself
Right.
in the first place.
and I'm growing,
Mhm.
and part of growing is, I mean, you don't go into kindergarten or pre-kindergarten the first day and know your ABCs and know your 1, 2, 3s.
Right.
You've got to be willing to go in, make
Open.
some mistakes, and over time you learn.
Right.
You learn those
And
ABCs.
then it becomes second nature.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you. Thank you for being here with us on Strategies. We appreciate you, and we appreciate our sponsors making it all possible. The Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Pintail Roofing,
Oof, oof.
and Learning RX, and the Balanced Life Wellness Center, and Fertitta's Delicatessen, the home of the Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage, and those Muffies too. Hey, if today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time on Strategies for Living.